Hello there, you're tuned into 7Edition. I'm Muhammad Ahmad Hamdan and these are your top stories. Drugs destined for prison, seized in syndicate bust. Law on digital currency to take effect tomorrow. And more than a dozen dead after plane crash lands at wrong airport. We begin tonight's bulletin with this story. Police have busted a drug syndicate which has been supplying drugs to inmates at the Simpang Renggam prison in Johor over the past 2 years. This after 5 men were arrested on Saturday and drugs worth 814,000 ringgit were also seized.
Bukit Aman NCID Director Datuk Muhammad Saleh said the 5 men aged between 26 and 30 were arrested in 2 raids in the state. Authorities also seized 9.88 kilograms of shabu, 16.4 kilograms of heroin, and 940 ecstasy pills, together with 2 cars, 3 motorcycles, and 22,000 ringgit in cash.
Jadi sebenarnya dadah ini diseludup melalui imej di penjara sana. Maknanya orang yang dikenakan tahanan di sana, dan saya percaya juga dia juga melibatkan warden penjara.
He added police are still investigating how the drugs were smuggled into the prison and are also working with the prisons department to ascertain if the syndicate received inside help. The 5 men have been remanded for 7 days to assist investigations for drug trafficking.
Meanwhile, Tan Sri Fuzi said a container lorry laden with nearly 600 kilograms of shabu was seized by the narcotics department policemen on Saturday. The discovery was made after the lorry, believed to be on its way to Penang port, was stopped for inspection at a rest stop in Taiping. It was also believed that a portion of the drugs were to be shipped overseas via the port. 3 people have been arrested so far in the case, and the trio were remanded for 7 days to assist investigation. The top cop also said police are still trying to ascertain where the drugs came from. In Kedah, police shot dead a wanted man believed to be a member of Gang 36 in a shootout at Kampung Jerong near Sungai Petani earlier today. State CID Chief SAC Mio Farida Latrash Wahid said the 28-year-old suspect had opened fire at police personnel before he was gunned down. He added that the suspect, known as Mages, was wanted by police in connection to 3 cases, including murder and attempted murder. In the 5:20 a.m. incident, the CID team was chasing the suspect, who was driving a Toyota Vios, after he ignored their order to stop. The suspect's car was later skidded to the side of the road before he came out of the vehicle and fired a few shots at the police car, shattering the front windscreen. The police team then returned fire, and when the shooting ended, the man was found sprawled on the ground. According to authorities, the suspect was believed to have been involved in the shooting incident at Flat Paya Nuhu in Sungai Petani last night over a drug dispute. Earlier in Penang, a construction contractor was shot dead by an unidentified man at a car park of the Penang City Council MBPP flats at Jalan Sungai Pinang last night. In the 10:30 p.m. incident, 27-year-old Muhammad Nazrul Hisham Muhammad Mira was having a chat with his friends at the car park when a Yamaha 135LC motorcycle with 2 men dressed in black and wearing crash helmet with visor stopped nearby. The pillion rider then got down from the motorcycle and fired several shots, which hit the victim on the head and body, before jumping on the bike again and fled the scene. The victim was rushed to the Penang hospital but succumbed to his injuries around 12:50 a.m. Police are still investigating the motive of the attack and have classified the case as murder. Police have reclassified an abuse case involving a 9-month-old baby boy in Cebu, Sarawak as murder under Section 302 of the Penal Code. This follows the death of Aris Haras Zahin Azman at the Cebu hospital at 11:55 a.m. yesterday after his life support machine was turned off at 11:30 a.m. Aris Haras was being treated at the hospital following injuries sustained as a result of being abused, allegedly by his babysitter. Police said the suspect's remand, which ended yesterday, has been extended until January 17th to facilitate further investigation. In the incident last Monday, the victim was found to be in a weakened state when he was picked up from his babysitter's house in Taman Permajaya. He was then rushed to the Cebu hospital for treatment. The infant had been receiving treatment since then and was declared as brain dead at 9:10 a.m. by a team of medical officers treating him. In Pahang, 5 more individuals, including 3 Pengurusan Air Pahang Berhad PAIP officers, were remanded for 4 days by the Kuantan Magistrates Court to facilitate Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC investigations into a corruption and abuse of power case pertaining to a water supply project worth 23 million ringgit. The remand order beginning today was issued against the 5 by Magistrates Sharifah Nur Syuhada Tuan Mamat. All the suspects aged between 35 and 51 were detained yesterday at the state MACC office, where they had been called in to have their statements recorded. They were believed to have colluded with several individuals who were remanded last Friday to monopolize the project to supply water in the state via direct negotiation. The remand against 7 other individuals aged between 30 and 60, including 4 senior officers of the same agency and a businesswoman, were also extended until Thursday for further investigation into the case. This after the initial remand against the 7, including 3 contractors, expired today. It was understood that the graftbuster today also seized various assets believed to be connected to the case, including 100,000 ringgit cash, a Mazda CX-5, as well as Honda CR-V, and a gold bar worth 18,000 ringgit. The case is being investigated under the MACC Act. A 14-year-old boy pleaded guilty in the Kampar Magistrates Court today to committing incest with his older sister. The accused's incestuous relationship with his 16-year-old sibling began since 2 years ago and resulted in the birth of a baby girl. The boy, whose identity was withheld, gave the guilty plea before Magistrate Nur Faizah Muhammad Saleh in a closed in-camera proceeding. He committed the offence at their house in Taman Diawan between December 2017 and May 2018. If convicted, the charge under the Penal Code provides up to 30 years imprisonment and whipping. He was allowed bail of 3,000 ringgit in one surety, pending a psychological assessment from the Social Welfare Department, the court said February 20th for mention. It was previously reported by the media that the boy was arrested after he admitted to having incest with his biological sister, which resulted in her becoming pregnant and giving birth in the toilet of their house on December 15th last year. Elsewhere, 3 men, including a 19-year-old, have been remanded for 4 days to assist investigation into the discovery of a fetus at a rice field at Batang Tiga, Bukit Rampai in Malacca. The remand order was issued by Magistrate Sharina Sharani at the Ayer Keroh Magistrates Court. The trio were arrested on the same day after a witness at the scene managed to identify one of the plate numbers of a motorcycle used by one of the suspects. The witness also found the fetus wrapped in white cloth, which buried by the suspects before alerting authorities. Central Malacca Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Afzaniza Ahmad said initial investigation found that the fetus belonged to the girlfriend of one of the suspects. The woman is currently undergoing medical examination and is being treated at the Malacca Hospital. Investigation is being carried out under the Penal Code for concealing the birth of a child. Two-year-old girl who was held hostage at an apartment in Kota Kinabalu, Sabah yesterday is reported to be in stable condition and is being treated at the Likas Women and Children Hospital. The victim's mother, Herna Hasim, has rubbished various claims about her daughter's injuries, which have been spread online since the event unfolded.
Tidak kenal tu laki tu. Muka dia pun aku tidak kenal pun. Lagi tu bukan tinggal di Telipok tu. Mungkin dia tinggal di jauh-jauh lah.
Ada keluarga yang mengenali suspek ni memang dari? Tiada. Jadi yang mengatakan dia isteri, suami kakak lah, anak tiri, anak kita lah.
Tiada kena mengenal tu semua.
Okey, balik kepada keadaan bangsa, keadaan anak kita macam mana lah.
Okey, sudah tu. Tapi itu ada semalam dia cakap dia haus lah. Tadi doktor ada cuci dia punya luka kan, dia ada cakap dah sakit. Sampai nangis lah, tapi sekejap lah.
Dia boleh bercakap sudah.
Boleh bercakap dia. Nah, okey, sehat juga dia.
Yesterday, residents of the Telipok Ria apartment were shocked when the girl was held hostage by an unknown man. The police took swift action and gunned down the suspect after the latter planned to throw the girl down from the building. The suspect died at the scene and the girl was rescued. Moving on, Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad today said Pakatan Harapan PH has never engaged in vote buying. This follows allegation made through the circulation of several photographs on social media that PH had engaged in vote buying in the ongoing Cameron Highlands parliamentary by-election, which has been set for polling on January 26.
Pakatan Harapan tak nak bagi duit kepada siapa. Kalau duit itu dah kerajaan bagi punya, dia bagi dah. Untuk semua orang dapat.
The Cameron Highlands by-election is a four-cornered contest among PH, Barisan Nasional BN, and two independent candidates. This follows the election court's decision on November 30th last year, which annulled the victory of Datuk C. Sivaraj of BN in the 14th general election after establishing there was vote buying to influence voters. The government today assured that it will continue to provide assistance and support to local manufacturing industry players within its capacity. Tun Dr. Mahathir said the government intends to push Malaysia to become an industrialised country despite its financial resources.
Tiap-tiap industri yang dapat bantuan daripada kerajaan perlulah berusaha sehingga bantuan daripada kerajaan ini tidak diperlukan lagi. Dengan itu bantuan yang diberi boleh diguna untuk memberi bantuan kepada industri-industri yang lain juga. Kerana kebolehan kerajaan adalah terhad.
Malaysia.
The Prime Minister said this when launching the AC Gas brand 14 kilograms liquefied petroleum gas LPG composite cylinder produced by Astana City Group Sdn Bhd ACG in Kuala Lumpur today. The government aid aside, he said the people should also support the local manufacturing industry so that it would flourish. The Premier said the growth of the local manufacturing industry would create more job opportunities and reduce the outflow of money for the import of products. Asked which industrial sectors the government would assist, he said the government would help companies in need in the initial phase of their venture. Coming up, this next story can't be ignored because it will crack you up. Details next. Welcome back. Digital currencies and digital tokens will be prescribed as securities and regulated by the Securities Commission starting tomorrow. Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng said any person operating unauthorized initial coin offerings, ICOs, or digital asset exchange faces a 10-year jail and 10 million ringgit fine. In a statement today, Lim said the Capital Markets and Services Prescription of Securities, Digital Currency and Digital Token Order 2019 will allow the Securities Commission Malaysia (SC) to regulate digital assets as prescribed securities. He added that the Finance Ministry views digital assets as well as its underlying blockchain technologies as having the potential to bring about innovation in both old and new industries. In addition, digital assets have a role to play as an alternative fundraising avenue for entrepreneurs and new businesses and an alternate asset class for investors. The SC would also put in place regulatory requirements for the issuance of ICOs and the trading of digital assets at digital asset exchanges in Malaysia, and the framework will be ready by end of the first quarter of this year. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail has called on women to go for cervical cancer screening following a pilot program launched to combat the disease in Malaysia. She said this as the disease is the third most common cancer among women in Malaysia after breast cancer and colorectal cancer. According to Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah, who is also the Women, Family and Community Development Minister, cervical screening fell far below the World Health Organization's WHO target of 70%.
Ini ada satu yang mudah, yang sepatutnya tiap wanita lebih pada 30 tahun memberikan buat screening ini, dan saya mensyorkanlah kalau boleh kita pergi dan membuatkan satu test ini yang mudah dan memberikan kita kesan yang baik terhadap menjaga kesihatan kita.
She said this to reporters after launching ROSE, or Removing Obstacles to Cervical Screening, in Kuala Lumpur today. ROSE is an innovation by University Malaya (UM) and VCS Foundation of Australia. A memorandum of understanding between the two organizations was also inked at the event to establish a not-for-profit joint venture to combine their expertise to enable the implementation of ROSE.
The LPPKN clinics are going to start offering the HPV test very soon, but I can't speak on their behalf to see where this can be rolled out. But that's from the governmental side. In the public side, what we hope to do is that we will run some community engagement programs, and of course that will depend on our corporate partners.
Malaysia's National Immunisation Programme for Human Papilloma Virus, or HPV, has achieved vaccination coverage of over 90% among 13-year-old girls, protecting them against the main types of HPV that cause cervical cancer. Also present at the event were Health Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad and Deputy Women, Family and Community Development Minister Hannah Yeoh. The Home Ministry is studying 6 laws on security with a view of either amending or repealing them. Its Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin said the 6 laws are the Sedition Act, Prevention of Crime Act or POCA, Prevention of Terrorism Act, POTA, Printing Presses and Publications Act, Security Offences Special Measures Act or SOSMA, and the Peaceful Assembly Act.
Asas dan kajian undang-undang ini ialah kerajaan perlu mengubah undang-undang berkaitan keselamatan yang dapat mengimbangi keperluan untuk menjaga keselamatan negara dengan berkesan dan pada masa yang sama memelihara hak-hak kebebasan asasi seperti yang dijamin oleh perlembagaan persekutuan.
On SOSMA, he said the status of the law was still being discussed with the stakeholders and non-governmental organizations, including the Bar Council. He also said this would take some time as the ministry is in the midst of redrafting or amending the laws. On another matter, Tan Sri Muhyiddin added that the ministry's key focus this year included revamping the immigration's operation system by implementing the end-to-end operation concept to avoid corruption and using artificial intelligence-based technology in enforcing and eradicating crime. Meanwhile, Tan Sri Muhyiddin today acknowledged that he had made an appeal for Datuk Sri Alwi Ibrahim to be retained as the Secretary General of the Home Ministry. He said he had been able to work well with Datuk Sri Alwi since helming the ministry after the 14th general election in May last year.
Ya, itu adalah rayuan saya. Kerana saya berpendapat saya boleh bekerja baik dengan beliau sejak saya masuk di kementerian dan saya tidak ada lihat apa-apa masalah. Lagipun saya baru, jadi saya memerlukan seorang yang sudah lama supaya saya tahu apa yang berlaku di kementerian. Dan perkara itu telah dipersetujukan dan terima kasihlah pada pihak yang memberi kelulusan.
He said this to reporters after delivering his New Year message for the ministry earlier in Putrajaya. Datuk Sri Alwi, who was also present at the press conference, reportedly had been appointed as the Secretary General of the Works Ministry under a reshuffle of senior government positions early this month. Now let's hop on to our daily segment Clickbait, where we take a look at what's trending and making rounds in the cyber world today. A year ago, a photo of Kylie Jenner revealing her newborn baby, Stormy Webster, took Instagram by storm and quickly became the most liked post on the app with just over 18 million likes, and remained so until an egg recently broke this record. No joke. Fans of the Kardashians may feel shell-shocked over this, but for the rest of the world, this was one exciting news.
Instagram account World Record Egg took to the social media app to post a photo of an egg on January 5th with the sole aim of breaking Kylie Jenner's record. Then just hours ago, it surpassed 18 million likes and is now at over 23 million likes as of this morning. Understandably, we aren't the only ones bewildered by this recent turn of events. Even some well-known internet figures felt their influence intimidated by the egg. The user explained to the online news portal that they decided to beat the world record just as a challenge, but had nothing personal against Kylie Jenner.
And now updated as of 7 p.m, here are the top trending topics and searches on the internet today. More on 7 Edition. Second black box from Lion Air crash found. Stay with us.